Let's get to the top five takeaways here, Rod, if you're good. Let's go to your top five takeaways from yesterday. And I want to start with Antonio Brown. And that Antonio Brown situation with him leaving the field, I mean, this has been everywhere. It's been talked about, within sports, outside of sports. This has just become a mega story at this point. How did you view this one, especially having 24 hours to think about what we saw?
Well, I'm kind of like everyone else. I thought at first, the initial thoughts was he's very selfish. He's doing this on his own. But then I started thinking like, well, something's really wrong with this guy. For him to get that upset at that moment, to express himself in that manner, like he's worked so hard to get to this point where he's trying to get the trust and respect of his teammates and his coaches, and then something like that happens, man. And it's really sad because all this stuff started, years ago when he was in Pittsburgh and they allowed him. We've heard the stories, Jack. We've heard the stories about him missing meetings, being late to meetings. So in a sense, they enabled him. And then all of a sudden you give him 40, 50 million bucks. Now he becomes a different player, a person. But to me, a lot of this still, and I'm not saying that this is an excuse, but I think he's suffering from CTE. I think he's definitely got some symptoms. He's snappy. He's mood swings. I mean, you look at this hit from Vontaze Burfict. You look at this hit, and he was completely out. I played 15 years in the league. I was never completely out like that. He's completely out. That is a concussion. That is something that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life. So when you talk about inconsistent behavior, mood swings. You imagine your son or somebody getting hit like this. This has permanent damage to it. And, I would want the league to come in, and I'm not blaming the league at all, but I would like for the league to come in and really help this guy, because what they witnessed and what we witnessed on Sunday was mental illness, it was CTE, it was him making a bad decision, it was all those different things. And when you're suffering from CTE, and I got many, many friends that suffer from CTE, we all suffer from CTE. You play football for an extended period of time, you got hit in the head, you suffer from CTE. That was clearly something that just made him snap. And I promise you, at this point in time, he's sitting at home and he's not happy. He's not happy about walking off the field, quitting. He's probably saying like, "Oh my, what the heck did I do?" And that's what happens when you have CTE. You make decisions, you do things, and you sit back and say, "Why did I do something like that?"
Yeah, wow. I mean, give people some sense of how life changes after multiple concussions, because some people never played football at that level and really can't relate to what you're saying.
Well, I mean, just think about it. I mean, like I said, I've lost my mentor and one of my brothers, Junior Seau, to this. Okay, he shot himself. Right. He committed suicide. So it's tough, because guys go through a lot. They go through the pressures of their families, asking for money and trying to do the right thing. And, you want to do the right thing. You want to get up. You want to go work out. You want to be positive. But yet that CTE's got you in a depressive state. It's got you saying, nope, you can't do that. You can't be positive. You have to be mean to your kids. You have to snap on your kids. That's what CTE does. And I've sat down, I've talked to 50 players. At least 50 players, and they tell me all the different types of stories, and we have conversations about how do you deal with it? How do you deal with this? But Antonio Brown, he needs some spiritual guidance. He needs medical attention. He just needs people to come in, because a lot of times you have people within your circle and they're afraid to say anything because they don't want to get cut off. If someone stands up and says, you should go and get help, man, get out my circle. You out of here. You're no longer part. So a lot of people within those circles, they're afraid to say something because they feel like they're going to get, basically kicked out of the group. It's tough, Jack. It's very tough. It's very emotional.
It's very tough. It's very true what you're saying. And I've known people who have been in AB's circle, and they don't last long. I mean, he's got a sort of a revolving door of people around him, and it very quickly rotates. And one of the things that Tom Brady said right after is compassion, right? So I think it's important. Let's hear from his quarterback and somebody who continually wanted to give him another chance in the NFL. So here was Tom Brady on his podcast talking about Antonio Brown. This is from today.
It was just a very difficult situation for everybody involved. I've known Antonio for a couple years now, pretty closely. And, we've obviously been teammates. And I would just say I love him. I care about him. And I have a lot of compassion. I have a lot of empathy for the things that are happening in his life. So it's a lot of challenges we all face from time to time. I think the best thing is to have a support system, even outside of football, because again, yeah, we are football players. We're athletes. We give everything we can on the field, but we also have off-field lives too. And I'm going to continue to do everything I can to try to, be a great friend and supportive to Antonio and the things he's going through.
I have a lot of respect for Tom Brady. And do you think about Tom Brady, the love that he has for Antonio Brown? Like, Tom Brady's a very busy guy. He's got family, wife, kids. He's got businesses. He's trying to play football, workouts. Yet this guy has taken Antonio Brown in. He has shown him the TB12, and he's mentored him. He's been around his family, ate dinner with his wife and kids, I'm sure, all that time. Tom Brady loves this guy. And he knows that he needs help. And that's what he needs. He needs more guys, more positive people around him, because what I saw on Sunday, man, it scared me, because you don't know what's next. You don't know if he goes and something else happens. You don't know. There's stories that we hear about all the time. And I'm just concerned for the brother, man, because he's not a bad guy. He's just going through a lot mentally.
I hear you, because we've seen so many situations where bad can get worse, and we just hope he gets help right now, when there's still maybe even potentially some football ahead of him. Who knows? But most important thing is getting his life in check away from the field. So let's get to number 2 on your takeaways, Rob, which is the NFC, and it's going through Lambeau Field. We were just up there at Lambeau Field, the icy conditions. Tom Brady. Shoot, it looked like Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers, way he's throwing the ball around. Davante Adams, that connection that they have. MVP back-to-back years. It looks like something special there in Green Bay right now.
Yeah, I mean, the number 1 seed is huge for these guys, because obviously Aaron Rodgers, he's dealing with a toe issue, but they also have 3 veteran players that's coming back in the most important positions outside of quarterback. Bakhtiari, left tackle, Zaire, cornerback, and of course the pass rusher was Zadarius Smith. They have depth. The defense has improved. Kenny Clark is back in the middle. I like the Green Bay Packers, man. I mean, when you talk about what A.J. Dillon told us, remember A.J. Dillon? He said, hey, man, we love playing in this weather, because we know when they come to this weather, they feel this weather. They feel the cold. They feel the physicality. And that's exactly what Matt LaFleur did. Had a lot of, in the first half, there was a lot of Aaron Jones, but in that third and fourth quarter, he put A.J. Dillon, that 245-pound bruising back in there, wore Minnesota down, and that's what they plan on doing. Let me tell you something. I played in Foxborough, and coming to Lambeau Field is about 20 degrees colder than Foxborough. That is going to be a very difficult place to play, especially if you're Dallas. And I still believe that Dallas is capable of going in there, and if they're playing on their level, they can beat the Green Bay Packers. But it's got to be a special day, because it's cold out there, brother, and it affects everybody.
It is, and you really saw firsthand, up close and personal, why that A.J. Dillon pick is so important. It's for these moments, right? It's a week 17, week 18, the playoff run, Super Bowl going through Lambeau. This is what it was all about. And I thought it was really interesting when we asked him. I want to run this clip real quick about Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon on the field at the same time, something we've talked a lot about in private. And here was the answer. This was very telling, I thought. Let's run this.
We keep saying this. We would like to see you guys on the field together more. Is that something that you try to talk to Coach about?
Hey, I can't be giving you all the secrets. You just gotta wait. We got some more games ahead of us. You just gotta wait and see.
Right.
And you know what, Jack? That's exactly what they're going to do in the playoffs. They're saving it, right? They're saving. As soon as he said, hey, I can't give you all the secrets, we already knew exactly what he was talking about.
You got about halfway through your question, and I saw just the look on his face, just that little smile come across his face. And we already saw a couple of plays in the game where they were both in there collectively. But there's so much creativity that you're able to do when you got Jones as a wide receiver, basically gets to play that slot receiver. He can run a full route tree, end to rounds, and all those possibilities. And then the power running game right off of it. They're starting to tease it into the lineup But that as just a second layer to the power running game that Dillon is bringing, this Packers offense can beat you in a lot of ways. Then you think about the way they're playing defense on top of it. I don't see a team in the NFC right now, especially watching the Cowboys get beat yesterday by the Cardinals in the way that they did. I just don't see a team in the NFC right now that I would believe strongly could go in there and beat the Packers at Lambeau. I just don't feel confidently in anybody, to be honest.
The only concern I have, and I want you to see if you and I have not talked about this. The only concern I have with the Packers offensively is, do they depend on Davante Adams too much? Because it just seems like everything is about Davante Adams. Every single thing. And if it's a hamstring or twisted ankle or something like that, will they have enough with those others? That's what's important. This is one of the it was a double coverage, and he still forced it. He's still forcing it down the field. I know Davante Adams is the man. He's great. But if you get a really good team in here with a great defense and they double team him with their best safety and their best corner and they take him out the game, do you believe that MDS, do you believe that Alan Lazard, do you believe that they have enough in the passing game? And maybe they make Aaron Jones a wide receiver in the slot. Do you feel like they have enough in the passing game if something were to happen to Davante Adams that they could still win football games? Because it seems like they depend on him too much.
Yeah, well, they definitely do. And the crazy thing is they have a remarkable record when he's out of the lineup of still being able to win. It's like 4-0, 5-0, something like that when he's out. And you can't really explain how, but it's just that Aaron Rodgers can overcome those type of things. And yeah, I'm with you, man. And watching them practice, I got to go up to one of their training camps one time and watch them practice, and the timing that they have and the way that they're able to communicate. To me, they're like two brothers that have played backyard football together for their entire childhoods, that they know what the other guy's thinking before they even know what they're thinking, and they're able to adjust and do certain things on the fly. But when you watch them practice, Rod, it's a lot of Aaron by himself throwing to buckets. That's what he does. I mean, he is just trying to hit a spot. He's just trying to hit a spot, and he'll do it 100 times in a row, and the crowd goes nuts when he does it. And then when you watch Davante Adams practice, it's like dance steps. He's taking, 9 steps, and he's to that spot. 9 steps, and he's to that spot, and he's patient, and it's right there. And they just hit that exact spot. But to watch those two just do it time and time again, and if you overplay it, okay, there it is on the back shoulder. I just don't see any wide receiver quarterback duo that are on the same identical page like I see with these two guys right now. And it's why they're at the top of the NFC and at the top of the NFL.
Yeah, we look at the numbers, we see all the production on Sunday, but we don't really we can't see all the work that's done behind the scenes, all the tape, all the conversations, walking past each other and, in the hallway, and just all the walkthroughs that they go through out on the field. So in order for them to have that chemistry and that continuity, you have to put a lot of work in. It's obvious that they've been doing that.
Yeah, and listen, Aaron Rodgers played with some unbelievable talent. For him to say that this is the best player that he's ever played with, that goes a long way in my mind's eye. So let's get you to your third takeaway, which is the Cincinnati Bengals, and they have clinched the AFC North first time since 2015. Big win over the Kansas City Chiefs. How'd you see that win?
You remember when Joe Burrow, he said he wasn't apologizing for passing in the fourth quarter or something like that against the Ravens? That's when I really knew. Yeah. It's like, man, I'm not apologizing for that. I'll keep doing it. The game's not over. That's when I knew his mindset was different. Like, just that gangster in him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe Burrow he's that dude, man. And when he shows up, he raises everybody's level, and they trust him. They believe him. It doesn't matter if they're 2 scores down. They trust and believe him. He does a great job of spreading the wealth. It's not just Jamar Chase. Yeah, he gets all the attention, but it's Boyd, it's T. Higgins. Joe Mixon out of the backfield. The offensive line has improved. These guys are playing with a lot of heart, a lot of toughness. And for them to upset the Kansas City Chiefs, this is not a mistake. This is something they believe that they can do, and this is one of the best teams in the AFC. We got to start really giving them credit and just thinking that this is luck. No, this is skill. These guys have worked extremely hard to get to this point, and Joe Burrow is that dude.
Man, I agree. I mean, just the way that he dismantled Wink Martindale's defenses, all those different blitz looks that he brings, and then come back a week later and to out-duel Patrick Mahomes on a day where Patrick Mahomes is on fire. You just don't see other quarterbacks do that, and the belief and the trust that all his teammates have in him. And I was thinking this on the car ride over here, Rod. You know, we hear these comparisons to a young Tom Brady. Nobody would know a young Tom Brady better than you. So how do you hear those comparisons? Is there something to that? What do you think?
He was better than Tom Brady. As a young, I mean, think about it. I mean, Joe Burrow right now,
Wow.
I believe, was better than Tom Brady when Tom Brady was in his second or when he was really young. Yeah, man, that dude he has unbelievable arm talent. He's got a swag and a confidence. Like, he's coming out of college with this air and with this, I mean, he's a very humble dude. I like him. So not in a negative way, but he has this level of confidence in himself. And when you see him talk, when you see him interview him, when you see him interacting with his teammates, he's been a leader. They believe in him. They trust him. And I don't believe Tom Brady was as good as Joe Burrow right now at this point in time.
I mean, that's saying something right there, man. I look at these weapons, too. I look at Jamar Chase. I mean, that first touchdown he caught where he's just, he's a little 15-yard and in, and there's 6 defenders around him. I went back and I counted. I mean, there is 6 defenders that are perfectly positioned to make, look right here. This one's down silent. This was his second or third touchdown. He was sitting there. There's 6 defenders around him. There's so many touchdowns, you get them mixed up. And everybody, it was one cut. This is it right here.
This is it right here.
And he blazes all of them with ease, Rod. It's like you see Tyreek Hill do that on the other sideline, but he is in rarefied air with how fast he looks on an NFL field. That's hard to do, man.
And not many teams have a superstar like him, because just think about him. He's Odell Beckham. He's like a 2022 version of Odell Beckham. He's bigger, faster, and stronger Odell. He's just as talented as when, Odell Beckham came out. But think about this. This is the thing. I was reading about Joe Burrow buying his offensive lineman a bunch of iced out watches. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
Jack?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so it reminded me of Tom Brady when I got to the New England Patriots. He bought all his offensive linemen Audis, SUVs. And I'm like, you know what? That's pretty, it takes a pretty special quarterback to really show that appreciation to their offensive line, because a lot of quarterbacks are saying, man, y'all get paid millions of dollars. You have to do your job. But for these guys to show appreciation, and buy their offensive linemen things and just showing that gratitude, man, that was big. It just shows his maturity too.
And that offensive line's gotten way better. I mean, they were bad last year. Some of the hits that he was taking last year, Joe Burrow. I mean, one of them that could have well ended his career. And the fact that he's been able to come back from that, be on time to play week 1, even though everybody was going, Joe, let's take an extra month here, man. We need you for 15 years. We don't need you for this. And he's like, no, I'm playing week 1. Like, we're doing something this year. And that's what they did. I mean, it's just been amazing to watch him lead in this way. It's amazing almost in the way that watching Tom Brady go down to Tampa in his first year and put together a championship team. Like, some guys have the ability to just make those around them better and believe, and all of a sudden there's confidence. And I think you hit it right on the head. There's a calm, cool confidence about him, and it's not cocky. It's just a confidence. And I just think that these receivers, these linemen, the defense, even the head coach and Zach Taylor, he was coached a 2-win team last year. They just believe that they can win every game, and by golly, they're starting to win these games where they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, the best team in the NFL in some ways.
And what people don't realize too is, it's not like Zach Taylor has done a really good job of allowing these young men in this locker room to be themselves, to show their personality. A lot of young coaches will try to control and, don't celebrate, don't do that, no smoking cigars on Instagram and celebrate. He's allowing these guys to openly show the world, hey, that we're confident, we believe, hey, we're the Cincinnati Bengals, we're coming for you, we're going to celebrate this division title, but hey, we're trying to go to the Super Bowl. And this is the mindset of the Cincinnati Bengals, but it comes from Joe Burrow, it comes from the head coach, and it's really nice to see these guys able to have their own personalities and be who they are and have fun playing football.
And I think the magic, too, of Zach Taylor, that's a big one, is that he listens to Joe Burrow. And not only within the offense, Joe, what do you want to run? Okay, let's go do that. To listen to a young quarterback like that. But he stuck his neck out for Jamar Chase. Like he wanted to be teammates again with Jamar Chase. And there was Penei Sewell. There was great options that they could have taken there. But he kept saying, man, you think Justin Jefferson's great up there in Minnesota. I played with both of these guys. Jamar Chase is the better player. And how has it played out? In the very first year, he goes and he breaks all of Justin Jefferson's records right here with Joe Burrow as his quarterback. So when you have somebody like him, when you have a mind like him, the best thing you can do is listen. And I'll tell you what, Rod, you should hear Joe Burrow talk about Zach Taylor. He couldn't give a higher review of his head coach, and I think that's why, is because he's listening to him.
And guess who's the coach of the year? I know everybody's talking about Mike Vrabel. It's not Mike Vrabel, and that's my former teammate. He's done a wonderful job with the Tennessee Titans with that number 1 seed. It's Zach Taylor. What he's been able to do, he's come in, he's changed the culture. You know, Matt LaFleur too, but at the end of the day, you got Aaron Rodgers. You don't have a young quarterback coming off an ACL injury and a lot of questions about your offensive line, questions about your defense. Zach Taylor is the coach of the year. He's done a phenomenal job. This Bengals team, like, we didn't think this Bengals team, like, we tune in for the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? We're not missing that game for nothing in the world, Jack. It's must-see TV. Jamar Chase, Burrow, those guys on offense. Joe Mixon is balling, man. I like the Bengals, man.
I know. It's a fun, and they transcend a small market. Like, it's a Cincinnati team, it's small market, and like they shouldn't be this national team, but the star power transcends that, and people just want to watch them. People want to watch Jamar Chase. People want to watch Joe. People want to watch Mixon. And that defense, the way that they've built it through free agency, pretty cool too. That's a good time to transition, though, to Vrabel. That's your fourth takeaway. The Titans, after the Bengals beat the Kansas City Chiefs, the Titans now elevate to that 1 seed, and all of a sudden, even without King Henry, your former teammate has them right back at the top of the AFC.
We were out in L.A. when they played the Rams, and what happened? They just flat out kicked the Rams' butt because Mike Vrabel, and this is something that he took from Bill Belichick. He preaches physicality, dominating the line of scrimmage, and that's what they've done. Jeffrey Simmons, Jones, Landry, Danico Autry, all those guys. That's what they do. They get after the quarterback. They stop the run. They play physical football. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They wait for the opposing team to make the mistakes. And Vrabel, he gets a lot of respect in that locker room because he treats his players well. He's honest with them. It's no BS. He has empathy toward them. Why? Because he was a great player. He played in the league for a long time. And the cool thing about Vrabel is no matter how much success you have, he's gonna constantly challenge you. He's going to constantly push you. That's what he does, and he's done a great job this year.
Right. I mean, just the ability to not panic after Henry left the lineup. That was the amazing thing to me. And those receivers have been banged up and in and out of it, but they won with their physical offensive line that's just moving people. Even Deontay Foreman. I mean, he went for 132 and a touchdown yesterday. So it's not all about King Henry. It's about that offensive line. Look at that push right there. He's not getting touched till he's 10 yards down the field, and that's part of what this team has been. And then you think about King Henry. If they get this first-round bye, that he would potentially be able to return for the divisional round healthy, fresh, after all these other players have played an 18-week NFL season. I mean, he almost had 1,000 yards only playing about 10 or 12 games, whatever he ended up with.
Excellent point.
If he comes back, man, that could be a tough team to play.
Hey, Jack, that was an excellent point. And the thing about it is when he comes back, he doesn't have to be thrust into action where he has to carry the ball 25 or 30 times. He can come in, you can get him 10 to 12 carries just to get him back acclimated. You still have Deontay Foreman, who's done a wonderful job. And now you have that 1-2 punch, not just this year, but moving forward.
What do you think, just from a personality standpoint, why do players love or seem to love Vrabel so much? It just seems like they're always all over his back after a win. Like they can't wait to celebrate with him. What is it that everybody's so drawn to just about his personality?
He's a really good person. You know, he's a really good person. Yeah. He's easy to talk to. Like I said he's empathetic. So he has empathy toward others. He's played in the league. and he played at a very high level, won a bunch of Super Bowls, so he knows exactly what the players are going through. And even in one clip after he won on Sunday, he was like, hey guys, I'll see you on Wednesday. So he knows what it takes giving these guys rest. He understands the pulse of his locker room. You know, he's not looking at some sheet that says, well, maybe I should do this. He knows, he can feel the temperature of his locker room. So when those guys come to him and say, Coach, man, we're a little tired. Can we take a day off, or can we make it more of a mental day? He knows how to adjust. He's just a great coach, man, and he loves what he does.
That makes sense why they've had so much success. So let's get to the Cardinals and the Cowboys. A couple teams at the top of the NFC got together. The Cowboys are coming off that Sunday night win over Washington where they just blew them all the way out. You don't see blowouts like that very often in the NFL, but they handled them. It's been a hot football team. Offense starting to look like they were back in form, but then Arizona goes into Dallas and gets the win. How'd they do it?
Well, I mean, you think about Arizona. You lose your best receiver and DeAndre Hopkins. You lose 3 straight, and you even lose to Detroit. So now you start to question yourself, are we really that good? Can we compete against these guys? Then you have to go on the road and you beat the Dallas Cowboys. That was a huge win for them going into the playoffs because they know now, hey, guys, when we're focused, when we're together, when we're honed in, we can play against anybody. But the problem is sometimes they play down to the level of their competition and they come in, they take things for granted. But when this team is focused and they don't come focused every single day, they play extremely hard. And Kyler Murray, I mean, it's going to come down to Kyler Murray. This is a good defense, but it comes down to his decision-making. It comes to him not making those turnovers and him playing and just doing special things. They no longer have DeAndre Hopkins, so they have to deal with guys like Christian Kirk, A.J. Green. They're going to have to make plays. Chase Edmonds, he's back a little healthier in the run game. So Arizona Cardinals are there. I'm not too sure they'll be excited about going to Green Bay if they had to go to Green Bay and play in that weather. But, a lot of props to them beating a very good Dallas Cowboy team.
Yeah, and they did play Green Bay really tough earlier in the year. That was a Thursday night game. It was actually the game where Kyler got hurt at the end. They took them deep into the fourth quarter in that game, ended up losing. Kyler ended up missing a couple of games, handful of games. After that one, they just rested him up with Colt McCoy, came in and played a little bit for him. But at least you can hang with them. And I thought what happened in this game, one was A.J. Green, who was a veteran wide receiver, going up against Trayvon Diggs, who we know well. He's aggressive and he's a double-digit interception guy, but you have to live with the risk too. And he just kept getting double moved by a veteran receiver in A.J. Green. And it's a big reason why they lost this game because he's a vet. He knows that you're going to be aggressive. He's watched tape. He knows you're going to jump on stuff like that. And so he kept hitting him with these double moves, and Trayvon Diggs just didn't have the answer. A.J. Green had a huge day stepping up.
No doubt, but defensively, I look at them from the defensive side. They have to just continue to play hard and complement the offense. Isaiah Simmons is playing out of his mind. He really looks comfortable out there. He seems like he's really starting to pick up the NFL game. Budda Baker, they got a really good secondary. They got some pass rushers in Chandler Jones. Who knows, man? The Arizona Cardinals, they have the talent, but do they have the mindset?
I'll tell you what else was interesting, too, with Kyler, is that the Cowboys have some amazing pass rushers. And we were just there and we saw them in person. Micah Parsons and Lawrence and Randy Gregory. I mean, they are amazing, and they are huge athletes. But what they couldn't really do was get their hands on this punt returner back there. I mean, Kyler Murray is not your average 6'2", 6'3" quarterback who stands in there and is at that specific spot. I mean, this dude is quick, and he is just like a little lightning bug back there. And how many times you see these 6'6" guys get there, and they had him just like they have so many quarterbacks, and before you know it, he's 10, 15 yards down the field. I mean, even on that final drive, when it got to be a 3-point game, they ran 2 quarterback runs for first downs, and they ran an option. They ran 2 quarterback options where he pitched it for 2 more first downs to go run out the clock. It's just not something Dan Quinn, that Cowboys defense, are used to seeing. Nobody's used to seeing a quarterback back there playing like a punt return. He just got him a couple times, and I think it's why they won that game.
And really a great job by them really limiting what the impact of Micah Parsons. You know, like we've seen him take over and just completely dominate games. And they did, I think he had, 5 tackles maybe, no sacks, no pass defense, anything like that. So they did an excellent job, taking him away.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.